Yes, welcome back to the conversation on TV 360 coming to you here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name still remains Nelson Ekujumi, and I stay with me in the studio, Comrade Murphy Abadoni.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome, Comrade. Thank you for staying with us.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, on this second stanza of the program, we are going to look at the prices of goods and services. Despite the fact that the government economic policies is going to take some time, to start manifesting, we have seen prices of goods and services continue to remain beyond the reach of the common man. And for me, it's worrisome because you expect that with the drop in the exchange value of the naira vis-a-vis the dollar, you expect price of goods to have come down. But things still seem to have little or no effect. The other day, I went into the market with my wife, and the price of Gary, the market woman was telling me when I said, what is responsible for this hike in price? And she said, Oga, everything don't cost now. I'm like, so everything don't cost is now a factor for hiking price for goods and services. And just yesterday, I was discussing with somewhere, and we're talking about this noodles. I don't want to mention the name.
Yeah.
The rate at which the price of noodles has gone up, as well as confectionaries. You talk about flour. Before, bread used to, what even artisans, what they eat most is bread and beans. Now, you hardly can find bread within your reach. The smallest bread now is between 1,006 and 2,000 naira. Flour, baking materials, sugar. I think these are issues. Maybe we need to have a conversation with the Consumer Protection Council of Nigeria, because we need to ask these manufacturers what is responsible for this hike in price, so that we'll be able to table their pains, their challenges to the government. What can the government do? Because I remember when I was growing up, the easiest thing you can buy on the road is fried balls, which we call puff-puff in our local language, puff-puff or buns. But these days, you hardly find it. And when you see, when I go to the field every Saturday with two of my sons to play football, and one of the things they buy most is these fried balls. At a point in time when we started, you could buy it for 20 naira per a ball. Later, it became 15 naira. Now, if you see the one they are selling for, in fact, this Saturday, when the guy told me it was 100 naira, I was like, what? So, the prices of these basic commodities, I think we should all put our eyes on it and see how we can. Let us even leave the price of building materials. Because just yesterday, somebody was telling me that sharp sand, 20 tons, last year, October, was 70,000 naira. That as at February this year, that it had become 220,000 naira. So, is it that manufacturers or middlemen or traders are exploiting the end user, or what? So for me, I'm worried. I want a conversation with the consumer agencies to help us address this problem, because our people are really feeling, the pains.
You see, government has a major role to play.
I agree.
One, at a critical time like this, I'm of the opinion, and I've been saying this, that the government should, first of all, because it's not a hidden fact that we have challenges. There is hunger in town as a result of petroleum subsidy removal majorly, and the floating of the naira. Government has their economic plans. Government has their policies, and removing the self-subsidy was, at the time, became a necessity.
Yeah, it was inevitable.
Became a necessity, and floating the naira too was as a result of the challenges that were had, and government did that in the course of trying to find a solution to our Forex problem.
Yeah.
Being that as it may, we find ourselves where I expect the government at this critical point to open our borders, if not for anything, for importation of food items.
But
and
Murphy, just a minute. If you say government should open our borders, what will we use to import food? Is it not forex? Do we have enough?
I'm coming.
How do you protect the local manufacturers?
Which
government has invested trillions of naira? Okay.
President Muhammadu Buhari
Yeah.
had a very serious plan towards that direction.
Okay.
He closed down the borders. I was one of those who was moving from station to station, trying to enlighten people on what the government intends to do.
Yeah.
He closed down the borders, empowered local farmers.
Yeah.
They got money through the Central Bank of Nigeria. They got fertilizers from the government.
Yeah.
That was a novel idea from that administration. Those who got those money and got those fertilizers, got all the necessary support from government, eventually went to farm, got the produce, and doubled the price. And Nigerians couldn't afford it, even when it was sponsored by the Nigerian government with the taxpayers' money. So that made that government project to be defeated. And that also brought us to where we are today, where people cannot afford things like rice. So for me, at this critical point, because we need to be alive, this government has some good plans, but we must be alive. If government is building bridges, if government is bringing in rail projects, we must be alive to enjoy those amenities. So at this point, I expect government to open the borders for food for a certain period of time, just to ensure that there is food, that we are alive first. I expect government to also remove import duties on certain food items. For this season, Nelson, I'm a married timer, and those days, 15, 20 years ago, if you come to our port, you see shiploads of rice.
I remember
coming from
different countries.
Importers, different consignees, as we call them in maritime, different consignees. And they all cleared and moved into our market. So you can either buy this or buy that, because there will be competition. And the best way to even bring down the price of any item is to create competition, whereby people don't monopolize it.
But as we speak, government has not banned the importation of food now.
So what I'm trying to say is, because our borders are closed, because the tariff, which we call import duty on food items is so high. So if you remove fuel subsidy and you float the naira at the same time, please, there should be a way to give back to the people, so that you can caution the hardship that is unleashed on the people as a result of these beautiful policies in quotes.
Comrade, one thing,
every country in the world has items that they import.
I agree with you. But
so if we're going to import for the next 3 years, until we are able to balance up, that is not a bad idea.
One thing I want us to take home.
Then I want to also go into the issue of this price going up every now and then.
Where
you go to a shop, you want to buy an item that is sold for 100 naira. While you are there, the owner of the shop makes a call to somebody else to confirm the current price. While you are assistant, tells you, "Oh, we're not the sell for 100 naira, it's now 150." I've been telling friends around me, I say that is wickedness too on the part of us as Nigerians. That you buy an item for a particular amount because you are just told that dollar has gone high. Immediately you are doubling the price, which is far above what you have bought. Somebody told us the other day that most times they charge you for the cost of replacement. You know, it's in Nigeria, you hear all forms of
economic terms
that you are paying for replacement.
You know, I was even speaking with a publisher yesterday, and he said to buy paper for publishing, that if the price of dollar comes to maybe 600, that the price will remain, that they won't change it.
They won't change, yes.
But immediately they hear that the price of dollar has increased by 10 naira, that these importers will shut down all their warehouses and say, don't sell.
Yes.
And they'll put a new price regime.
Look at the petroleum industry now. The moment these filling station marketers, the moment they sense that there will be increase by next week,
they start
ordering. And once there's an increase, immediately they increase. But the moment there is a decrease,
they have to be forced to comply.
So We are not helping ourselves as a people, you know. We live in a society, I must say this, where people believe so much in money.
Well,
everybody wants to exploit the next man.
Yes, that is our lot. That
So
the love for fatherland.
I want the government to please do something about food importation for now.
Comrade Murphy, I disagree.
Yes, it's your right to disagree.
Yes,
you're right.
This is a conversation.
We are very hungry.
Yes,
people are hungry. Why you mentioned noodles?
Yes.
Why has the price gone up? Because you know noodles was like what people were using to subsidize rice.
Yes.
So the moment rice is no longer affordable,
spaghetti.
Yes, now they are those things are used to subsidize rice. But the moment rice is now out of reach of the people, the sellers of those items also doubled the price.
I think
so. Even the garri that's supposed to be the poor man's food, it's not even affordable. So what do you do?
Comrade, I think at the level of the
you can't buy fish. You can't buy nothing in the market.
At the level of the media.
I don't want to talk about cement. I don't bother myself about cement and iron rods.
Let us first
because you need to feed first. Yes. That is none of my business.
This hiking cost of goods and services. Even though we recognize some salient factors responsible which the government is addressing, there are also some factors that are beyond comprehension, just like we have mentioned, that somebody will tell you, oh, don't you know that dollar has gone up? What is it in dollar that you are using to farm?
To buy garri and vegetables.
But
it's simple. The man will tell you he will need to sell his vegetable and garri in order to buy rice that is imported with dollar. You need to sell that. You have to buy milk.
Yes. So I think we need to have.
And landlord too is telling you that he will need his rent in order to purchase this other
item. Of course, yes. Now.
And this whole thing boils down to the fact that the ordinary people will suffer.
Well, I only hope we'll be able to have a conversation around these issues with the relevant authorities as well as the stakeholders, because we really need it, if you ask me. I see no reason why the Minister for Trade and Investment, as well as the Minister for Finance, this issue of confectionaries, the bakery business, is worried because, before, bread used to be the food of the common man.
But not now.
But no longer. If
somebody was talking about bread, what about garri?
Look at garri.
Garri was more like a poor man's food now.
A paint rubber. They said the paint rubber was 800. Now it's almost 3,000.
For you to afford garri and afford the items to make the soup, then you must be super rich.
Well, we know there's always a way out. We will not leave it at this. We will continue this conversation on this matter. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we want to call it a wrap on the conversation today. Till we come your way again next time, please continue to watch the conversation on TV 360. Have a great day and bye-bye.